Hello, students. In the last session, we have learned only introduction part. Okay. So, what is the definition of the IRS? Okay. We were stopped at what is meant by item. So, what is meant by the item? So, as I said, we are going to divide the complete data into small units. Further, you cannot divide, right? So that particular data is called as item. For example, if I take this particular sentence, so in this, the becomes item, term becomes an item, is becomes an item. Okay. So how it is going to treat the information? How specific? Like how to, suppose if I take my system, I have designed one IRS. What I'll do is I'll take complete sentence as item. So it depends upon the system, whatever the system you're going to take. Okay, so the definition of the item may vary how specific the source treats the information. Some sources may treat one sentence as an item, some may source as one word as an item, or some may take one letter as also an item. So it depends upon the type of systems you are going to use. Now, next one is what is meant by document. So generally, what you call a document, generally you'll talk like in the document in a book or a newspaper magazine. If I take a document book, so each book will be in that book, each page will be an item. If I take a document, so if I take the complete document, I'll take one page as one item. Or if a magazine, so it is an item. Okay. So for example, if you take videos, news program could be considered an item. Okay. So in the news, suppose if I take TV, some channel. So in that each program will an item. Are you getting my point? So if you have one TV channel or any TV news channel, so each program could become an item. So item can be consist of different types of things. It is composed of a text, or it can be a closed captioning. It can be audio text provided by the speakers or video images being displayed. So as I said, IRS will support the multimedia related data. So it can be any kind of thing, or it can be any data which can be provided for you. Okay. So an information retrieval software consists of it facilitates finding the information required to the user. So whatever the information requires to the user, he can find through this particular system what we are going to distill. So what is it is a system which consists of all the software programs. So how you are writing a programming language in order to design a task or in order to find a task, in order to retrieve some information from the user end, how you are going to design a system is called as IRS. I hope it is clear. So it is a software program which will facilitate a user to find the information according to his requirements. Exactly. Okay, if you can say that it is an interface which is used to retrieve some data, which is required by the user. So I think it is the best definition for you. Now, so this particular system may use any standard hardware or a sub software. So it can have it may have sometimes to convert non-textual sources to searchable media. For example, if I cannot search audio, what I'll do, I'll go with the whatever the subtitles I may have. Okay, so in that case, it may directly convert audio to text, which will be very easy. Like you'll have transcriptions, like whatever I'm talking automatically, that will be read as text and saved in one document, which can be used for the further use. Next, the search composition. So how you are going to search the data? Okay, how you are going to search the data. So the search composition, search execution, and reading non-relevant items are aspects of the information overall system. So whatever it may be, you have to remember what type of items can be used and how it can be searched and how it can be done. Okay, finally we have done with the introduction part. What is an information retrieval system? You are going to design one system where the user can give some keyword or give some input and search the required information for him. That is the overall thing. Okay, and what are the main objectives of the IRS. What are the main objectives of the information? So the first, the general objective is in order to user to locate needed information, in order to minimize the overhead of a user locating required information. Okay, so what is the overhead over here? It can be expressed as a time. Okay, so user always spends in the steps to reading an item containing the needed information. For example, query generation, query execution, scanning results of the query to select the items to read, reading non-relevant items. I'll tell you one simple example. So recently I have completed my PhD. So I have done my PhD in the blockchain technology from Geetam University. So it took only 4 years for to me in order to complete because we have so many technology and information retrieval systems where I have got the complete information now. But if you go same situation in order to do the PhD before 10 years, remember there were no tools in order to get the information. So whoever the PhD scholar, what he used to do is he or she used to go to the library. They have to sit in the library. They have to read all the articles or all the books. If I didn't understand any terminology, now what I'll do, I'll open the chat GPT or any other search engines and directly I'll get the data and I'll understand. But it was not like that before 10 years. So what he or she has to do, he has to sit with the guide or he has to do go to the library. He has to check what is exactly the meaning of that and he have to understand and do it. So I'm just telling one simple example. So whenever you're talking about DBMS, you have to create the query generate, you have to write the query, you have to execute the query, then you have to check the results whether I'm getting the correct result or not. And again in that result, whatever the required item I have to check. And sometimes I may also read the irrelevant items also. And I have to scan all the non-relevant items also. So exactly this all headache overhead can be reduced with the help of IRS. Okay. So the information retrieval, the term relevant item is used to represent an item containing the needed information. See, this is very important here. Please try to understand. So what he is telling, what is relevancy here? Relevant means, suppose if I'm talking about, I'm searching data about dog. For example, I'm telling, I'm searching information about the dogs. I'm getting cats. So cats data is irrelevant of dogs. Okay. But sometimes when you are describing that particular cat or dog, it will have 4 legs, it will have 2 ears. So both will have the same. Okay. Both are relevant to each other. But sometimes what happened, irrelevant information also you will get. So relevant means what is your required or exact information needed for you. Okay. So from the user perspective, relevant and needed are synonyms. Okay, relevant or required is same. So the what are the measures? Suppose if I'm doing some searching, what are the measures? How I can say or how I can calculate the data is relevant or not is using the precision. One terminology is called precision. Another is recall. Okay, so what is meant by precision and recall? Okay, so precision and recall. Suppose when a user decides to issue a search looking for information on a topic, the complete database is divided into 4 segments. Okay, we'll see this particular in the coming diagram. So relevant items are those documents that contain information that helps the searcher in answering the question. Okay, for example, you have complete data warehouse. I'm not telling about database. I'm telling complete data warehouse. In that, when I talk about, for example, you are browsing the data, I'll type IRS, information retrieval system. So the data related to information retrieval systems will be divided into one side. So what it will segregate the complete database in divided into 4 segments. So in that case, it will store all the relevant data at one side. Okay. And from that, whatever the exact keyword, according to the keyword information, that has to be processed. Okay. And what it will do, non-relevant items are items which are not directly used or provide information, but indirectly they may give some items or some value to the required data, relevant data. But directly they are not related to this particular content. Okay, so once again, I'm repeating, you'll have the complete data, relevant and non-relevant. Relevant items are the exact requirements of the user, but non-relevant items are not directly used by the user, but maybe in, indirectly used by this particular user. Now, so what is a precision and recall? So one second, we'll just understand. Okay, precision is directly affected by the retrieval of non-relevant items and drops to a number close to the zero. Whatever you're getting precision means non-relevant items. So remember, always precision should be very less. Okay. So what happens here? Directly affected by the retrieval of non-relevant items. So the precision will be affected with by retrieving non-relevant items. So always you have to close to zero. It should be very less. So recall is not affected. See, precision is affected, but recall is not affected by the non-relevant items. And if you have 100% also not a problem. Once again, I'm repeating, precision is directly affected by retrieval of non-relevant items. So it has to be always less, that is zero. But recall is not affected by retrieval of irrelevant or unrelevant, non-relevant items. So it may have high. So these are the two terminologies you have to remember, precision and recall. Now, what are the different types of examples for your information retrieval systems are? Retrievalware, Topic, Alta Vista, InfoSeek. Okay. And next one is inquiry, which is accepting natural language queries, whatever it may be. So please once check out all these types of information retrieval systems. And if they are open source, just you check how to use them. Now, next one is exactly previous. Yeah, this inquiry is basically used for NLPs, so natural language processing, where you'll write something which is in the form of the text, and this will be finding your required information. Okay, so for example, I want to get any information over the internet. So what I'll do, I'll write only one or two search items in order to get the data. Okay, then according to that particular search items, it will browse the data. Okay, so this was a complete diagram for you. So this is completely author's vocabulary of the concept in the item and user's general vocabulary. So the author vocabulary is a subset of the user's general's vocabulary. So like this, the information have to be divided into different domains. So this is only domain for two things. One is authors and one is users. Okay. So this is a introduction and objective of the IRS. So we will discuss other topics in the next sessions. Thank you.